I want to thank my family. You've done so much for me and continue to do so. My poor dad has dealt with everything, whether it was me crashing our cars or accidentally nailing him in the head with my golf club. All of the hours he spent with me on the golf course, or the last-minute projects and papers that you helped out with. The memories on the golf course are my favorite. Whether it was when you caddied for me during my best rounds, when we beat the Beast, or when we won the state championship and I watched you fist bump it behind the green. That brings me to my mom. She came to almost every tournament, rain or snow, in the freezing cold, 30-degree weather, shaking all 6 hours and never once complaining. Always just trying to make me smile and bringing everyone food. Let me just brag about my mom's cooking for a second. It is amazing, and she makes everything from scratch. Just about every person in this room understands because she cooks for everyone. I never appreciated it until I went to college and wasn't spoiled with it every day. But when I gained the freshman 15, she was the first to rip the food out of my hand. She said, "What? If your mom doesn't tell you, who will?" The truth hurts, I guess. That's why I love her though. She's always there for me and always trying to make me a better person. My parents have been so supportive of Will and I and helped us out so much when we first started out, and we can never thank you enough. They have been so understanding of everything, and that means a lot to us. Last but not least, my brother and Nikki. Growing up, I wanted to be just like Michael. I followed him around and I did everything that he did. When I started to play golf, everyone asked if I was going to follow my brother's footsteps, and I loved that because he was my role model. Whether it was advice on the golf course or just advice in general, Michael always seemed to have the right answer. A couple of years ago, I was in Michael and Nikki's wedding, and it's hard to believe that I'm standing up here right now at my own. Nikki from day one has made me laugh, whether it was making fun of Michael or encouraging me to do so. We are very blessed when you join the family, and we love you and Mally so much. Also, you were a huge help with all the wedding planning, and I thank you for that. I also want to thank the Evans for throwing this party at our favorite place, Gervasi. I can't believe the wedding is finally here. I'm so excited to finally be a part of your family. Thank you for always welcoming me into your home with open arms. I'll never forget when we were all on vacation in Hilton Head and Mr. Evans drove all around the island for an hour trying to find me a cannoli. That trip is also when I got to know Allie. The best part of the whole vacation was the infamous, "Okay." It never gets old, and neither does listening to you and Will argue about who is the best athlete in the family. Can't wait to come to more volleyball games this year since we are a lot closer. That leads me to Jen. Thank you for introducing me to free people, even though Will was not happy. Also, thanks for making that long drive to Gervasi to sample all the food and wine with us, and for giving us a great laugh about the shamboozle. We can't wait to come to Alabama to visit you. I can't believe Will and I have been dating for 5 years now. But whether it was sitting with you all at the Ashland basketball games, praying for those free throws to drop and saying, "See it" with Cole's mom, or just hanging out, I'm so excited to officially become part of the family.
Mom and Dad, thank you so much for everything that you've done for me throughout my entire life. But first, let me thank you for this beautiful evening that we have tonight. We couldn't have done this without you guys, and I know it's been tough for you, Mom, to plan this so far away from home, but this is one of Nicole and I's favorite places, and you all made it happen, and we can't thank you enough for that. You and Dad have always been my biggest fans. Whether that's driving Thursday nights to Ashland and then coming right back Saturday morning, you two have always done everything you can to be at every single one of my sporting events. Dad, I will never understand how you do it, driving home late Thursday nights and going to work in the morning, but seeing you in the stands every night really meant a lot to me and always gave me confidence when I was playing. I always love coming back to Lexington to visit you guys with buffalo dip waiting on me and all my favorite foods. You guys have always been there for me, and I can't thank you enough. I love you guys. Jen and Allie, growing up, it was always a blast being your all's older brother. I always tried my best to be a good role model, even though Mom and Dad could probably argue that's pretty debatable how good of a job I've done. But growing up with you two was always fun, always getting to beat up on you guys in sports, getting to sleep over in my bedroom on the bunk beds when Santa was coming to town, putting on shows down in the basement on our stage that Dad and Grandpa built us. We were always so close growing up, and it's been awesome watching you two grow up and, of course, following my footsteps, trying to be accounting majors just like I was. But I'm so proud of you two, with Jen getting her first big girl job and Allie balling on the volleyball courts. I'm so glad that you all are here with me on my big day. I love you too. The Trevisanos. Can't thank you guys enough for welcoming me in and always providing a place for a home-cooked meal while I was at Ashland. All the Italian food I got to try for the first time, trying to learn to play some golf with you guys, You guys have always been very welcoming to me, and I can't thank you enough. You would come support me in my basketball games. You took me on vacations where I got to see some of the most beautiful places that I've ever been. And I even got to experience the Trevisanos in the airport. I can't thank you two enough for welcoming me into the family with open arms and for everything that you've done for Nicole and I. Without you two, this wedding wouldn't be happening, and I know how much work Mrs. Trevisano has put into this, and I can't believe that it's actually here tomorrow. Michael and Nikki, can't thank you two enough either for welcoming me into the family. We've had so many funny memories in just the last couple of years, whether that was me maybe forgetting to lower the toilet seat at the Trevisano's house and Nikki taking a spill, taking you guys to your very first country concert, even though I might have had a little bit too much fun, taking you guys to Keeneland for the first time, and even being roommates in Cayman, even if Nikki did get me sick. We've had so many great memories so far, and I can't wait for more to come. Michael, I know how much Nicole looks up to you, and it's really meant a lot for you to always accept me, because I never had a brother growing up, and I look forward to more ping pong battles in the basement and some much needed golf lessons.
I chose to start with Haley because she was my first best friend. We were neighbors and we did everything together. From all of the forts we made, the block parties, and all of the times we tried to avoid Frankie. I even loved you when you blamed me for breaking your arm when you clearly did not let go of the playset before you flipped, or all the times Andrew got us in trouble. I can still hear your mom's voice saying "dearie" in my head. I remember how hard I cried when I found out in 4th grade that you were moving to Texas. But each year it gives me something to look forward to when you and your mom come visit, especially because there is no one I can laugh harder with watching our old dance videos. Thanks for being the best first friend I could have asked for.
Joseph Franklin Duncan, the little brother that I never had. Growing up, we used to do everything with our backyards connected, whether that was playing basketball on the court, little baseball in the backyard, performing Backstreet Boys in the basement. We used to do it all. Whether it was sleigh riding down Tucker's Hill or even singing I Want to Be Close on the way to school every morning. You were someone who I've always been extremely close to. We've always had a lot in common. And even though you're down in Birmingham, Alabama, you're someone that I know will always be close.
The Cult. Golf brought me two of my best friends. They were a part of my favorite high school memory, winning the state championship, beating the Beast from the Northeast, then TPing Coach Fisher's house and leaving Fish at the door. Little did we realize that the water would freeze. The hours we spent practicing together, team bonding to see the LeBron movie, all of the possibility dinners at Quail, our workouts with Bob, the stairs, running until we turned green, or when Emily started crying because it was too hard. Emily was always like a sister to me. I was her confirmation sponsor and senior buddy, but it was all worth it because she was our stud freshman. 4 years later, she followed in my footsteps and came to Ashland to play golf. The tournament in Vegas when we were stuck with Pritchie and decided we didn't go all the way to Vegas to sit in our hotel room, so we snuck out and took a taxi to the Strip. That was a night to remember. Danielle was only a year younger than me, so she was my sidekick with everything. Also my math tutor when I had to pass a trig final, or when I had to write a paper before we could go to the Cavs game. We went to about every Cavs game senior year, even the Christmas game, which was unforgettable considering we sat right behind Usher. All of the golf trips we went on, the hours we spent messing around at the practice green, all of the matches we played in together. My best memory is walking down the 18th fairway on the final day at state, looking at the crowd behind the green, but seeing you giving me a thumbs up because you knew we were about to win. I'm so fortunate that NDCL blessed me with you guys as teammates and best friends for life.
Two of the guys that I've been close with since the T-ball days were Lucas and Evan. In kindergarten, I'm pretty sure that Lucas was the one that helped me not be such a nerd. My parents were dressing me in sports goggles and my shirt tucked in. And then Evan was the one who I realized that I was never going to be as smart as. But we did everything together, playing T-ball, playing All-Stars with the Orange Crush, going to World Series, staying with Miss Andy and her crazy hairless cat in Baltimore. Those were the good old days. I wish we could go back to where it was just Little League baseball and eating popsicles out of my parents' freezer. And now it's crazy. After this summer, we're all three going to be married men. And someday my kid will be better than your kid and dominate you guys in Little League just like we used to do.
NDCL days. I wouldn't trade them for anything. My friends had zero drama, besides the mystery of Francis the dog and all of that. There were zero fights. Whenever someone had anything to say, it was right to their face. Without these girls, high school would not have been what it was. The amount of Malibu bottles that we hid in my attic, or all the times we took liquor out of my dad's liquor bottles. Just a little out of each at a time so he wouldn't notice. Sorry, Dad. I love how even after we went our separate ways, we all stayed close. The trip we took to LA to visit Kayla was unreal. It was the blind leading the blind leading the blind. Sending Anna, Kara, and I across the U.S. together was asking for a disaster. Anyone that has been around us three know we just rip on each other the entire time. People often ask us if we are really friends, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Where to start is the real question. I'll start with Caroline since we had every single class together freshman year. So even if we didn't want to be friends, we didn't really have much of a choice. The pie story is a great place to start. We were in algebra together and we had to do a pie day project, so we made a video and remixed the "This Is Why I'm Hot" song. It went something like, "This is why it's called pie. This is why it's called pie. It's called pie because it's 3.14. You ain't gotta know no more." Then we smashed pie in each other's faces, which started a food fight and trashed my mom's entire kitchen. And if I still had the video, it would be playing right now. I would also have loved to have the video of us in Creative Foods when we were walking into Wheelock's class and she said, "Merry Christmas, no test." We looked at each other and said, "What test?" That couldn't sum up our friendship any better. After freshman year classes, we had no choice but to become best friends. Caroline made herself part of the family to this day. She walks into my house and yells, "I'm back!" and then opens the fridge and finds her favorite food. Caroline is one of a kind. She was the girl everyone was afraid of in high school because of her rudeness. One kid made fun of her freshman buddy, and she took her ketchup and fries and rubbed it all down the kid's white polo in the cafeteria. And we won't even get into the chances she started. Or sophomore year, when you made me go to prom, although I do admit I did have fun. My Ashland friends always say I get my rude comments from her. The spring break trip to Mark-On with my family, my mom leaving a voicemail on your phone saying, "Caroline, I'm really ticked off right now," about sums it up. It's never a dull moment with you and I love every second of it. I want to start out by thanking Anna so much for helping with all the wedding festivities. We would never have been able to do a lot of this stuff if it wasn't for you, including this video. From the crisis we had with our engagement pictures, to helping out with the cabin, and also helping Will throw the best engagement party ever. Anna was a class clown in high school, always getting into trouble and getting us in trouble with her. Whether it was stealing teachers' remotes and turning on and off the screen so they couldn't start their lecture, or just watching hilarious YouTube videos in class so we would all laugh and have to leave the room. But Anna always came through in the clutch. I think we all knew we could start relying on you in LA. We literally had been in Kayla and Danny's new apartment for less than 15 minutes, and we already overflowed the toilet, broke the washing machine, and let the dog get into way too much food. Anna somehow came through and fixed it all. Anna was also my number one fan when it came to golf. I'm going to leave out the high school nickname though. She was a trooper. She saw a lot of the finest moments. Us getting chewed out after tiffin, to Pam falling over my bag. I would just look over her and my mom playing in the trees and finding ladybugs. At regionals, you can hear Kara, Anna, and my mom laughing from a mile away and see my dad giving them that look. At the end of the day, she made me laugh and I was always happy to have her there. Thanks for everything, Anna. Love ya. Unfortunately, Kayla is on a world tour and cannot be at the wedding, but she was supposed to be a bridesmaid and will be missed. Hopefully you will get a good laugh at this video. Kayla's house was known as the party house in high school. There are way too many stories to even begin telling right now. But Kayla and I started becoming really close when we were the only two girls in our gym class and we randomly planned a trip together to Orlando. Sophomore year was my first trip without my parents, and I remember how nervous my mom was letting Kayla and I fly on our own. She had a reason to be nervous. My main memory from the trip was walking into the bar, getting huge X's on our hands, going to the bathroom, washing them off, getting drinks in huge water cups, partying with Disney characters, and getting followed by the 7-foot security guard. We were so scared, but it was so worth it. Or junior year, we went to Hawaii with my family and got stuck in Houston for 2 days without our luggage and had to wear the Walmart skirts. It was never a dull moment. From the times we would bring hot chocolate cups and fill them with vodka to go to the football games, to dealing with Kara at OU when she got roofied, or making fun of her when she couldn't even remember the address on her ID. I really wish you were here right now to do the impression of Kara yelling and throwing her phone at the wall. I love you, and thanks for introducing me to my two favorite things, Thai food and tropical smoothie. Also, just so you know, I wouldn't have sat through all those hours of dance recitals for anyone else.
Steven and Blake, two more high school buddies that continue to grow closer and closer to every year. Steven was the first one of our friends to kick off the wedding season to get married last fall, and Blake's right around the corner next summer. First, I'd like to thank Blake and Natasha. Without you two, we wouldn't be here today. I was fortunate enough to go down to the Bahamas with them. Even though the proposal didn't go quite as planned, we still executed a great night and a great vacation together. We've all three kind of been dating our girlfriends for the same amount of time since freshman year. Steven, we've been coming down to visit you and Audrey for a long time. Nicole and Audrey hit it off immediately when they were on the stage at Tin Roof and trying to sing Green Day together. We've had so many fun weekends together, and as well as double dates to Gatlinburg, ski trip. Obviously, you guys coming up to visit us in Cincinnati, and can't wait for many more years to come.
Chrissy is the only person that has known Will and I through our whole relationship. I was first off the boat, because I'm always first. She was my first friend outside of my team at Ashland. We met on the first day of classes freshman year. For some reason, she decided to sit next to me. To this day, we laugh about it because my hair was on top of my head and I was in sweats and a hoodie looking like a wreck. I was exhausted from 7 a.m. practice and also may have been a little hungover, considering my team decided to go out the first 5 nights back from summer. She considered herself part of the golf team. She lived with 4 golfers and she was the only one that my team accepted. She did call coach on the day of Spring Fest when we were on our way to GLIACs and demanded that she give her a scholarship. We won't even get into Pam's response. All of the good laughs we got from Hannah to squirting people with our squirt guns out of my dorm room window. We had some crazy memories living together for 2 years. Whether it was dealing with my crazy teammate and the Pouton to our neighbors complaining about us on our whiteboard at 4:30 a.m. We even moved our beds so we could face each other when we went to sleep. I'll never forget the night you woke up with your hoodie on backwards. I don't think anyone will ever forget that Halloween. The Clayton days are some of my favorite memories from college. You are one of the nicest and funniest people I've ever met. Don't ever change. I love you.
Dewan Mumu Thomas. When we came in together as freshmen, we didn't really know anybody. We went through all the workouts together, all the Coach Ellenwood calling us names, and ended up, being roommates junior year, making ham sandwiches and doing everything. We went through 4 tough years together, ups and downs. If you would have passed me the ball more, we probably would have won some more of those road games. But no, you were one of my best friends at Ashland, and I wouldn't have been able to make it through all those years with Ellenwood without you.
My first impression of Kate was walking into her room and seeing her play beer pong on her plastic drawers in her dorm room. I thought, well, she seems cool. Then she sat next to me in music class and pounded the piano keys over the teacher's voice and got us in trouble every class, and I thought, this girl is nuts. Little did I know we would become roommates senior year. The parties we had in our apartment, I still don't know to this day how we didn't get written up. You are the best Zoomie there is. Our apartment was a hot mess. We were the best cleaning team around though. You taking care of Megan and I on trip and whale night, the time Nell and I drove all the way to Grand Rapids to watch you and Megan play in the GLIAC championship, when I had to break into the volleyball locker room because Megan brought 2 right shoes. I will never forget the night before graduation, Joelle coming in and saying we couldn't graduate if the stains on the carpet and the holes in the walls were not fixed. So I went to the store and bought paint, and little did I know it was the wrong color white. What a disaster. After college, we both moved to Akron area because you and Will were working at Smucky's. We fell in love with Swenson's, Strickland's, Wally Waffle, and Sarah's. Also all the nights out in Cleveland and teaching you to become a Cavs fan. I love making Cincinnati trips together and hosting the Peaches in Akron. The Chicago trip and Cedar Point trip with the guys in Put-in Bay. I miss living in Akron together, but now it's time for you to move home to Cincy. Love you, Kate.
Shuey and Clay. When we're together, it's always nonstop laughs, telling stories, listening to how stupid you two used to be in high school and all the dumb things you all used to do. We always had a good time together, whether that was going to the lake with Clay, when Shoemaker, you and Allie came up to visit us in Cleveland, turned you into a Cavs fan for the night, going to UK tailgates. It's always a fun time when we're all three together, hanging out with the two of us, Kevin Garnett, and just always laughing.
Nellen. I would never expected to meet one of my best friends at work. We always said we felt like the girls in the movies because we had so much fun. From our coffee dates at Tree City, lunch dates at Fresco, to just talking all day every day at our desk, people had to hate us. But at the same time, the office loved us because our nickname, the Nellen Head, stuck, and we're even plastered on a trophy. Their Christmas party where everyone in our department took advantage of the unlimited drinks, and Brett and I were doing insanity moves on the dance floor. Hey, at least we weren't Brad trying backflips. I miss working at Davie, and I miss seeing you every day and just laughing uncontrollably at work to the point where we would have to get up and take a walk. Like the time I accidentally said Moscato instead of Muskoka on the phone, or when I would answer your phone when it was your boss calling. I miss the Red Burners Davie soccer team that we put together, the half-off Mog nights with the guys, and just having someone to vent to all day every day. I'm glad we still make time just about every day to have a vent sesh because I miss my Nellen every day.
Cole, Jency, and Brooke, part of the delegation. We always had a great time together when we were in Ashland. We were always hanging out, going out together, going to Eric's house, singing at B-Dub's karaoke. We went through a lot of ups and downs in our basketball careers together, through many workouts, through Ellenwood screaming at all of us. But I made some of my best friends while I was there playing basketball, and it wouldn't have been the same without you guys. Cole, it was always fun being your roommate, never knowing what I might hear the next morning or what you got yourself into. It's always funny whenever I go to Cleveland and visit the Trevisanos when I go out and hear the legend of Cole Krasanchik and Minner. Jency, you were always like my little brother at Ashland. When you rolled in freshman year with the Bieber haircut, I never really knew what to expect, but we got closer and closer over the years. You became part of the delegation when we welcomed you in. We had a lot of fun in the summertime when I was living in Kent State when I was an intern at Smucker's. You know, we'd go to country concerts, go to the Dusty, play a lot of FIFA, and now I'm just trying to recruit you down to Cincinnati. Brooke, aka Angry Brooke. You transferred into Ashland after my sophomore season and quickly became part of the crew. You moved in across from Cole and I in all of our crazy battles, playing Mario Baseball in the World Series, playing NBA Showtime, and then whenever we convinced you to go out with us, we always had a big time, especially whooping you in relay over at Aaron's house.
Taylor, who knew we'd become such good friends after the first time we met? Not me. I guess that was one good thing about going to class. It made us become friends. It all started when you randomly agreed to come to Nikki's bachelorette party when we barely knew each other, besides being drunk friends and having class together. That was a night many people wish didn't happen, because that's when we became obsessed with Timber, which we never let anyone forget. Between me yelling, "Yes, sir," every time he made a 3 on the basketball court, which was a lot, to us screaming Timber every time we were out, people definitely hated us. But we sure were good at making drunk friends. Some of my best stories come from you. New Year's Eve in Cleveland, me climbing out onto Eric's roof, you destroying my kitchen with the spray hose on the sink, calling my coach to pick us up after going out multiple times. "Hi coach, it's Pam." The list goes on. Then summer rolled around and we lived in Kent and spent every second together. I am so glad that Will introduced us and told me to give you a chance, even though I bet he regrets that sometimes, especially when you beat him in Pig just about every time. I miss TNT nights and seeing you and Gracie every week. Thank you for playing such a big role in our big day and being in every dress fitting to help me deal with Dana and all of the other disasters we faced. Love you, Twizzy. Meggers. All I have to say is, thank the Lord we had that night class together and I stuck my pink golf tee in your hair, because from then on we were inseparable. We planned our schedules to have every class together. I have never met another person I have so much in common with. We both love the beach, ice cream, being outside, bright colors, being tan, summer, walking super fast, pina coladas, the list goes on. It was easy to get along with you from the start. I even felt like we could read each other's minds, like when you emailed our business comm professor about getting in trouble, and right when you texted me to come upstairs, I texted back exactly what you had already done. But we are also different in so many ways. You are very emotional, and I'm not. At times I wanted to kill you, but then again I loved when your eyes got super blue after you cried. You love every animal in the world, and well, I pretend to like most of them for you. I sacrificed my life and basically fell off your horse as your whole family was laughing at me. You bring out the fun in almost anyone. There are too many great memories to even name. Turks, UK Final Four weekend when we started a chant, Shrimp and Whale night that Will's friends still don't let me live down, Nashville 4th of July weekend, all of your ducks, country concerts, especially those in which you pick fights with people, which is about all of them, and countless dumb nights at Ashland. I love being in Cincy with you, and I can't wait for many more memories to come. Love you so much, Megs.
Saving the best for last, Little Willie. Growing up, it was always Big Will and Little Will everywhere we went. Whenever I would go somewhere, it was "Where was Little Will?" Everybody just kind of assumed we were always together. We've done it all over the years with Little League Baseball, AAU basketball. You were the only one that would tell me what to do when I was pouting and not being coachable back in the day. Obviously, I've overcome that. I still know everything that you're doing thanks to my mom and your mom gossiping about everything that goes on in our lives. But I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for Nicole and I for the wedding. You've been a huge part of this. We can't be more thankful for getting everything organized for the bachelor party, for getting our lazy friends to commit to things. When I thought about who was going to be my best man, it was an easy decision. You've always been right there next to me every step of the way. So I can't wait for you to be next to me tomorrow on the big day, because I can't be Big Will without my little Will. The day is finally here. I get to marry my best friend. 5 years later, a couple different cities, long distance relationships, but tomorrow is finally the big day. When I first met Nicole, she was not like any girl that I ever met before. She was bossy, she was loud. Oh, and did I mention bossy? But she was also the life of the party and the most loving person that I've ever met. She has been by my side every step of the way, and everywhere we go, we always have a good time and have a ton of fun. We love traveling to new places, eating as much food as possible, and watching all kinds of sports together. I love hearing her laugh and that big, pretty smile, even if half the time she does dress like a homeless person. But we're working on that with my Macy's discount. We love going on adventures, going to the beach, and pretty soon we'll be playing with some little piggies in Exuma. You are truly the greatest thing that has ever happened to me, and I can't wait to finally call you my wife. I love you, babe.
I can't believe the day has finally come. I met Will the first Thursday of second semester freshman year when I had a couple too many cranberry and vodkas at Monty B's. My teammates kept telling me, "Nicole, he is different, go for him." I remember laughing and being like, what does that even mean? But they were right. From the start we clicked. It was never awkward, it always felt right. I remember the summer after freshman year, laying in your parents' basement bedroom talking about getting married and starting a life together. It is not every day that you both get to marry the first person you fell in love with. Things haven't always been easy, considering our families live 5 hours away. The summers apart were rough, but only made us closer. I remember the first time I told my family and friends I had a boyfriend. They were all in shock. Until Will, I would talk and date people, but never would commit to anyone because I didn't want to waste my time with all the boyfriend drama. I just wanted to have fun with my friends. But Will changed me for the better. You are truly the best thing that has ever happened to me and make me a better person every day. I know my parents really liked him when he made me try to improve my swearing. My family and friends loved him from the start, but when Poppy told me he loved him, I knew he was a keeper. I love watching sports together, playing basketball, laughing at stupid shows like The Bachelor, getting ice cream every day, and trying new things together. I'm so excited for tomorrow and for the rest of our lives. I love you so much.